Going on, everyone? I am Gilflo.
I'm Lord's Bleach.
And this is Action. It's taking too long. I was going to read all the words off.
Oh, okay.
Adventure! Let's just get into this. Alright, we are reviewing Beetle Adventure Racing Game 37 on our Nintendo 64 Chronicles.
Which, if you really think about it, it is a ballsy idea they did back in the day. It's like, okay, we're
Excitement!
Motherfucker. It's like, oh, as part of our ad campaign for the new redesigned Beetle, a video game.
Yep. Honestly, for being a... Spills! For being a cash grab, it actually wasn't terrible. It really wasn't.
Now, it does have some, faults to it, which is like, yeah, when we were playing it, we were getting annoyed by it.
Thrills! Alright, so let's talk about this game. First thing that you're going to notice when you play this game are the courses are long.
Yeah, a little too long.
Like, it's like 8 minutes a track, I think, to do 3 laps.
Yeah, it's like...
And more in Beetle Adventure Racing. I'm sorry.
Wow, overriding the narrative.
Go ahead. Anyway, so when you first start playing this game, at least we both did, the controls suck.
Yeah, the
it's
thing
not
is,
really the controls.
Well, it's not. It's obviously it ends up being the physics themselves. To be fair, the controls themselves don't seem too bad. It's the physics themselves that I have the problem with.
Yeah.
But it's not as bad as Overdrive, where it's like, wow, I can't control this car at all, and this is the beginning area. This one, you at least feel it, and as you go on, that's when you start feeling that challenge.
So like Top Gear, I understand what you were talking about now, because this game had that, like, if you played this game and were good at it years ago, you probably don't notice what we're talking about. If you're new to this game, you will notice that it does not turn, and you're sitting there trying all the different braking mechanisms, trying to figure out which way to go.
Now, I find it weird, because we do play the games automatic, usually, when it comes to driving games.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, if you hold the reverse, the button to do the reverse, which, that's another detriment in this game. You do have one of the odd reverses, where you don't just hit the button, you have to hold down, hit gas, and then another downshift, if I remember right. But I will say, if it worked better, I love the placement of the actual e-brake, which is down C, which is right next to the gas.
Yeah.
So it's like perfect reach for it.
If the physics were better, it would probably be really good. I don't think the controls are bad, except for, like you said, the reverse. And here's why I think the reverse is bad. And we didn't know about the L button, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But I thought in the first 3 tracks we did, the tracks were poorly designed because there were sharp corners that just kind of suck you in.
Yeah, and we actually had to look up the reverse in the first place, too.
Yeah. I did write on later on that there is a Unstuck Button designed into this game. So if you hit the L button, it just puts you back on course and essentially destroys your car.
Yeah, and we only partly discovered that just because, one, you looked up a way to improve the starting ability because we couldn't find like the perfect start option at the 3, 2, 1 go. And then you looked up, it's like, oh, you've hit L. That literally helps set you up so you can, negate the, spin out.
Yeah.
And then I literally, just for shits and giggles, let me see if L works. It did.
Yep. A game should not be designed with an unstuck button because they should have fixed the physics in the way the map worked. Anyway.
Then again, they might not have the time. We didn't look that up.
Yeah, I don't know. So every track has 100 point boxes on it that you have to get.
Yeah.
And that unlocks battle arenas, which we can talk about later. Now,
I will say not worth it. Just right off the bat.
So there's essentially 4 single player races. The first one is, well, I can't remember, novice, I think it was.
Novice, amateur. Oh, maybe not amateur. I forget.
Something professional.
So, and expert. Then I think expert. Yeah.
We only got to professional. So you have to be in the top 3 scoring every race, not individually, but after the race, your points to continue going. And if you don't get first overall at the end, you don't progress. You don't
Which, to be fair, that's kind of standard for a lot of racing games, so that's nothing new to me.
My only issue is when you get to the higher levels, you get a new track, and like I said, it's 8 minutes track. So, like, professional difficulty, which we were all where we stopped, it was 40 minutes, and if you screwed your very last race up, you lost. I call it a nostalgia game. It's a game that you either have to put time into or you put a lot of time into when you're a kid and you didn't mind as much what we're talking about. There is another thing I wrote here that I found kind of funny. Sometimes you're in control of your car, sometimes you explode.
Yeah.
There was a couple times we just literally exploded. We'd tap like a wall and just boom, explode.
Yeah.
But
I know when I was racing, I had more of the fair ones. You just got right into the chunky. Oh, you're just gonna veer off the track and then boom.
Yeah, it was just an explosion. It gets better once you figure out how to turn, or did it?
Yeah.
And yes, it does. Once you kind of learn the physics, it gets better as you play it, control-wise. But in the end, it's still frustrating.
Yeah, it's kind of the if you're into a mediocre game that you still like, but you know how to work around the faulty system instead of fixing the faulty system.
Yeah. And then finally, my last note is on multiplayer. It's beeping.
Yep.
On multiplayer,
It's not fun.
it's just get bugs, find the exit. But I think you could go in the exit, even though I found all the bugs.
Well, the thing is like I happened to see all the exit symbol at one point just because it's more or less you had all the bugs.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Game
Okay.
just died.
Okay, it crashed.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, but yeah, it was just more or less I happened to see it pop up, but you actually had to get to the exit before you did. But yeah, as far as a battle arena, it's like, yeah, it had some fun weapons and that sort of thing. Kind of standard fare, to be honest, as far as the weapons go, but okay, it's a collectathon in a battle arena? What?
Yeah. So let's get into the scoring. 50 is right in the middle. There's nothing good or bad about it. Anything below that all the way down to 1 being the worst game ever made, Superman 64.
Foreshadowing.
And all the way up to 100 is perfect. So keep in mind a 50 is technically a bad game. 51 and up is good. So let's get into how we rated it on a nostalgia outlook. I gave it a 78 because I think back in the day, like I love Top Gear Overdrive. I think if I had this game, I would have loved it as well. You not so much.
Well, I know there's other racers I played back in the day, and some of the older style ones, not necessarily like Sim or anything like Gran Turismo, but the thing is, for me, I would have rented this once. I know I would have just rented it once, where it's like, okay, it's okay, but nothing exciting.
Yeah.
Despite what the opening intro did with the action adventure.
Talking to several people that had this game when they were a kid, and they loved it, and I get that. So that's why I gave it a higher rating. So how does it roll up now? I gave it a 68. You gave it a 58. Giving it overall a 67, which is just kind of a rental.
Yeah.
And that's where this game falls. $17. I think that's a little high price for this game, but I know there's a lot of people that, like I said, have nostalgia for it.
But, 17 actually might be, like, as much as I lowered the rating compared to yours, it's still, like I said, back in the day, but I literally only dropped it for the current one because it's the wonky physics that mess with you. It doesn't drop it down to under 50.
Gotcha.
But it's still, like, come on.
Yep.
It could have been better.
If you want a racing game that you have lots of time to spend on, check it out. If not, I'm going to say pass on this one.
Or if you just love Beetles, then definitely buy it. But
Yep. So thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed the review, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Like the video.
And if you disagree with us, drop us a comment below why you disagreed, and we'll respond sometime in the next week. We'll catch you next time.
Yep. Peace.